Hey, this is Use. This is the response for Ryan Moody 21. Um, I've been watching a lot of your videos here on um, Madden and Backbreaker and games that represent football. Um, and I'm just here to give my opinion on the subject. Um, First off, I just want to say that I've been playing football games since I was, Jesus, since I was probably a fucking 5 years old. And um, I started off playing Madden, probably on the Super Nintendo. And while I fucking loved Madden back in the day, I mean, when you're talking back in the day, I'm talking nothing past probably Madden 2003. And I enjoyed them. I mean, the game was pretty fun, and it was really the only franchise out there at the time um, that that was really popular. When it came to about probably, I was still playing Madden at the time, but when 2K arrived, I really enjoyed that series a lot too. I mean, I enjoyed it more than Madden actually, and I actually had started playing 2K more than Madden, and I enjoyed it because it was much of a slower pace, and it was a more authentic feel for me. It just felt slower, and it wasn't so redneck pace. It felt like football, and that's the time when I realized that, this is what football should be, or what it was close to at the time. Um, it was just slower and it represented it better, basically. So these last few years, the last 10 years, I should say, we've seen EA buy the license for the NFL, and we've seen what they've done with it. They've totally trashed the shit out of football. I mean, you're talking about these issues with morphing and and not leading your blocks and shit like that. And I don't claim to know everything about football. Like, I don't know formations very well, and I don't know how to read a defense very well. And, I'm more of the casual football player, but I do like the intelligence of football, like you've been talking about, the blocking and the defensive schemes and stuff, like reading a defense. I appreciate all that. I just can't process all that, but I do appreciate it. And, I see what EA is doing by just they're they have so many issues with Madden that it's unbelievable, totally unbelievable. I mean, you look at the little tiny things, the running styles. I mean, God, I look like they're fucking on ice skates. I mean, that's not football. It's just, when I think of Madden, I think of basically, I look at it as a arcadish style of football. It's not simulation, as they claim it is. It's not simulation at all. And I don't know why they label it that way, because it's not. I mean, they say it's authentic, and in some ways it is. You talk about the stadiums and the player uniforms and the face recognition and all that other stuff. Yes, that's pretty authentic. But when you get down to the gameplay is what the game should be about, and it's not. It's about flash, and it shouldn't be about flash. And I completely understand what you're saying about how Madden is a game for people that just, want to see the highlights, Sports Center highlights. I completely understand that. And don't get me wrong here. I do play Madden. I do. And to be quite honest with you, sometimes I don't know why I play it, but I do because I need some form of football. even though really it isn't represented well. I have to put aside my differences with my issues, basically, and just look at the game as if this wasn't intended to be represented for football, would it be a fun game? And for me, it's been a pretty fun game outside of the issues that I have with it. So, and there's no other football game out there. Now, I did buy Backbreaker. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I really did. But as I was saying before, I'm not very good at reading defenses and reading coverages and my timing and stuff like that. I wasn't very good with that. While I respected the hell out of Backbreaker, I mean, that game represented and the physics were all respected. Enjoyed it. But in the end, I had to sell it because it was too hardcore. I respected that hardcore feel, but it was just too much for me. And that's why I enjoyed the 2K series so much, because it gave that in-between feel. While it wasn't hardcore, but it wasn't, arcadish, it had that in-between feel where you felt like you were playing football still, but you weren't feeling like it was too, shitty as far as, how things happen. The physics were respected, at least a little bit. And that's why I liked about the 2K series. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it was that in-between feel, and I like that in-between feel where it's not too hardcore and not too arcadish. And that's what I liked about the 2K series. And that's why I'm still a very big fan of it. Now, if Backbreaker can make that in-between feel for me at some point, people at Natural Motion, that'd be great. That'd be absolutely awesome. But I understand what they're trying to do, and I really respect what they are accomplishing down there. So it's pretty neat, really cool. So anyway, I just wanted to get my 2 cents out there. I don't really know if you understand what I'm trying to say or just where I'm getting at, but I completely agree. Madden needs to change. And the whole problem here, the entire problem with EA and Madden, is the fact that they've been using the same engine for the last 20 years. And it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed one bit. I mean, their engine cannot handle physics because, let's face it, like you were saying before, Madden is dictated, the gameplay is dictated by animations, and it shouldn't be that. It should be dictated by physics and the way you hit someone. And while this locomotion, and I've seen some strides towards that in Madden, it's just still a bunch of BS. So I don't really know what else to say here. I just wish EA would get their heads out of their asses and realize that they're really disrespecting this football franchise, what it stands for and what it's all about, because this is not football. So I don't really know what else to say. I just wanted to get my 2 cents out there, and I know I'm rambling and such, so I'm going to go now. But hopefully you understand where I'm coming from, even though it might have been hard to understand. So thanks for listening, and keep up the good work. Enjoying your videos, man. Really enjoying them.